I think this is gonna be backward, but I'm gonna try and present it this way, I guess. I don't know how to record it well. I'm like in it and I'm showing this at the same time, so I'll just hold it up and try and present it. So my quote says, if I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said better horses. From Henry Ford, which basically has to do with like the transportation, because they didn't know what was coming for them. Like, they didn't know that all of these things were going to be able to be created in the Industrial Revolution, like steamboats and train tracks and railroads, all that stuff. So they would have wanted better horses, but no, they got even better. Okay, so to start, we'll go up to this corner. So basically, we're looking at steamboats here. Accidentally spelled it wrong. I didn't have any whiteout stuff and I didn't know what to do. So yeah, the artifact is the steamboats and what they looked like. So the information I got from this was one of the best ways to travel and ship goods before the Industrial Revolution was the river. Boats could travel downstream quite easily using the current. Traveling upstream was much more difficult, however. The problem of traveling upstream was solved during the Industrial Revolution by the steam engine. In 1807, Robert Fulton built the first commercial steamboat. It used steam power to travel upstream. Steamboats were soon used to transport people and goods along rivers throughout the country. So this is significant because they had to use the river before, but they could only go downstream. They could never go upstream. So now this opens a whole new range of where they can go. Instead of just going one direction, they can go anywhere. Now coming down to here, this artifact is a horse pulling a little wagon thing with some hay on it, I believe. I can't really tell. It was taken from a website, which I cited right there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Alright, so yeah, my information on this is that prior to the Industrial Revolution, transportation was accomplished through the use of domesticated animals, or by walking. The wagon and horse carried most of the products to market. People also traveled by wagon or carriage. Actually, people and products didn't move very far from home. Most areas were self-sufficient, so people didn't have to bring very much from the outside. Therefore, the road systems connecting different areas were usually poor. This situation changed as the Industrial Revolution, I said that so wrong, spread throughout Great Britain, Europe, and the United States. So, imagine having to ride one of those things to go everywhere. You really wouldn't get that far that fast, and especially with transporting goods and everything. That's just not efficient. So what the Industrial Revolution did is bring greater ways to transport things, and it could take you to different places, like basically anywhere, in such a faster time than a horse could. Alright, moving on to the center section. We've got a lot of information on these ones. I'm going to try and get through this all. It's kind of going kind of long already, but oh well. Right here, we'll start down here. So this is basically about railroads and trains. I don't know if this one is one of this is a canal, actually. So at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, the invention of the steam engine became widely popular. In 1787, John Finch demonstrated the first steamboat, which had 12 paddles and was propelled by a steam engine. From 1878 to the 1830s, steamboats were improved. In 1787, James Jones created the world's first boat moved by jet propulsion. In 1804, John Stevens built a steamboat with a new high-pressure steam engine. Countless people attempted to improve steamboats so that they could carry passengers and cargo. Yeah, I'm talking so fast. Robert Fulton was the first to accomplish this task. By purchasing a steam engine built by James Watt, he was able to use the steam engine to power a 133-foot steamboat, the Clermont. In 1807, Robert Fulton's boat made a journey to from New York City to Albany. By the 1830s, steamboats were the convention. They were used as methods of transportation in canals and other navigational waterways. They were used to promote trade. So yeah, this is the first steamboat that was made. Very efficient. I can relate this back to my quote. No one would have thought they would be traveling upstream with a steam engine. They were just so used to their little horses, but then all of this came along during the Revolution. Okay, now we're moving on to this next one. This artifact is a map of New York City's canals and railways. My words are cut in half on both sides of the thing, right there and right there, because it wouldn't fit on here. Okay, I'm just gonna stand here and read it really quick because it's hurting my arms kind of. In the this 1853 map of the Empire State shows the extent of Newark's canal and railroad networks. The entire country's transportation infrastructure grew dramatically during the first half of the 19th century. By 1848, more than 3,000 miles of canals have been dug, in the United States, and 30,000 miles of railroad track had been laid by the beginning of the Civil War. Together with the hundreds of steamboats that piled the American rivers, these advances in transportation made it easier and less expensive to ship agricultural products from the West to feed people in eastern cities and to send manufactured goods from the East to the people in the West. So yeah, there's just all of these railroads and canals were built during this revolution. They must have been really on duty trying to get all these built in that time, which, really improved economies and being able to trade with other areas and like transport goods, Then you go down here. Once again, this is about trains. Okay, the New England Limited. Okay, yeah, this is a picture of the New England. It's a train called the New England. The New England Limited, better known as the White Train or Ghost Train, which traveled from New York to Boston on the airline division of the New York, New Haven, and Hartford Railroad in the early 1890s. The Roy Roberts Railroad Collection. Okay, sorry, I'm kind of going off topic here, but basically the artifact is this train. On it, there were many accidents and delays, and there was many problems. Also, different companies used different widths of tracks, so only certain trains could travel on certain railroads. And in 1830, Robert Livingston Stevens solved this problem by designing an iron T-shaped rail. After this invention, railroads grew from 3,000 miles to 30,000 miles in only 20 years. Shipping costs greatly decreased and industry expanded. This also contributed to the market revolution. So basically just trial and error with these trains, They discovered problems along the way and they fixed them, which ended up resulting in, just more efficient ways to travel and transport goods. Okay, now we're on to the last section here. We've got Erie Canal. So these artifacts are from the Erie Canal, which was a form of transportation in the Industrial Revolution. So yeah, right here we've got the grand celebration of the Erie Canal. It was a big deal whenever this canal opened up. So this was an celebration invitation that they had to celebrate the opening. So a detail of an Erie Canal celebration. Basically, okay, this is what it is. It's a detail of an Erie Canal celebration broadside showing a horse pulling a canal boat. The broadside tells the citizens of Geneva, New York, about plans for celebrating the opening of the Erie Canal. The celebration of the opening of the Erie Canal began on October 25th, 1825, with a parade held in Buffalo, New York. Following the parade, Governor DeWitt Clinton boarded the canal boat to travel the entire length of the canal. Cannons were fired from Buffalo to New York City along the canal route. It took a week to 10 days for a canal boat to travel the Erie Canal from the Hudson River area to Buffalo. The canal boats were usually about 8 feet long and 15 feet wide. They were pulled by teams of 2 or 3 mules that walked on the towpath alongside the canal. With the opening of the Erie Canal in 1825, the banks alongside the Erie Canal began to develop and villages and towns began to grow. The village of Buffalo grew into a booming city within the first decade of the operation of the canal. So basically you can see by the creation of this canal, so many things were made and industrialized, such as like stuff along the canal, like the banks, as it said. So yeah, that's what we got there. And then this other artifact is a plate with a image or a drawing of the Erie Canal on it. So this plate was made to commemorate the 1825 opening of the Erie Canal. The picture on the plate shows the canal boats waiting to enter the Erie Canal lock at Albany, New York. The celebration of the opening of the Erie Canal took the form of a voyage, basically what I just talked about. So yeah, it was a big deal for a lot of people. As you can see, they were putting it on plates, which made it kind of significant to them, to the fact that people would be buying plates with the canal on it. I don't think you would see people nowadays buying plates with a highway on it, because I mean, it was important probably back then, but not now. But like back then, that was their first form of good transportation, which really industrialized their whole area, So anyways, that's my whole presentation. It went really long and I don't know why. Ow. And also, sorry, I kind of went off topic a little bit. This has taken me so many times to turn in, to try and record, and I just hope this was good enough. Also, I'm sorry if it's like backward or not. I don't know how to fix that because I'm looking at myself and it's backward, so I don't know if it's gonna be backward or not, but oh well.